Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. Well, I've finished building this area up here. So we've got our telescope. I built the two space scanners and I measured the distance between them and I realized I could fit a third scanner in there. So I thought, why not run 3? That'll give us better scan network quality, which will allow us to detect meteors farther in advance. The other option, of course, is that once we have a rocket, we can use one of these to track the rocket instead of meteors. But yeah, I figured I'll put in a third scanner. We need to have at least 14 tiles in between them. So there's 15 there and 16 there, so we got plenty of room. So I'd like to continue working up here. I want to get this powered up, get the doors automated, and then we can start putting in solar panels underneath. Okay, and I dug pretty far over to the left and I still haven't seen the gravitas stuff, so I don't think we probably won't run into it during this playthrough. Although we could go look for it because there's a lot of obsidian and there's some steel and stuff in there that we can grab, but it's certainly not a priority. So we'll continue to build this up. We need to put in our regolith demolition stuff, our robominers. So we'll work on that as well. But first I want to get some of this stuff powered up so that I can open the doors when I want to. Okay, but I'm going to need some more power because this power line on the which powers the doors is already at full load, so I'm going to put in a second transformer. So what I'm going to do is that, and then I can add another transformer right here. And we can put in a second line. Okay, I'm going to delete that. And then we'll snip this. And then we can just run a second power line parallel to the first one. Use that to power the telescopes and such, and then use the first one to power the doors. Like so. And then I still have this pneumatic door covering that tile, so this will still prevent the shovels from getting inside the base. At least that's my hope. And we got a lot of regolith coming down. Hopefully that's not going to heat up my water. Yeah, it is. It's turning it into steam, isn't it? Okay, well, good thing I had that salt water there. That should take care of it, but yeah, it did get a little bit of heat damage. Okay, so this line... Let's see, we'll have 960 plus another 480. Okay, so that'll be well within the 2000 watt range. And then we will also need to power robominers and things like that. That could overload it from time to time, especially if a lot of dupes come up on this transit tube access. But at some point in the near future, we'll build... Wait, what's overheating? The door? Seriously? Overheat temperature 75 degrees. Okay. Let's deconstruct it. You know what? I don't think the shovels will come down this many tiles. Oh yeah, it's 125 degrees almost. So I'll just deconstruct it. I don't think that the shovels will. Well, they might. They might walk along this, right? So we'll just deconstruct it and then place in a new one. We'll make it out of gold amalgam this time. Okay, now as far as the automation goes, let me see. Do I want these to be... The doors will open on a green signal. The scanners send a green signal when they detect a meteor coming in. So we need to put a NOT gate on this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an individual NOT gate for each of these scanners, because the scanners won't all detect it at the same time. But I'll put a NOT gate on each one, and then that way as soon as any of them have a green signal, as soon as any of them have a green signal, it'll close the door. Or will it? No, let me think about this again. If I have a NOT gate on each one, then I'll normally have 3 green signals coming out. If one of them detects, I'll have a single red signal plus 2 green signals, and the green signal will always override the red signals. So the doors will continue to stay open until all 3 of them detect something. Is that what I want, or do I want to go off the first one that detects? I think I probably want to go off the first one that detects. And in that case, I should run all 3 of them into a single NOT gate, so that as soon as one of them sends a signal, it'll close the doors. As soon as the first one. Okay. Down below here, I think I can get away with using lead wire, since nothing hot should be dropping down here. Alright, so we'll connect the 3. Then we'll come up here. I'm going to put my NOT gate. And then I'm also going to put a filter gate. Because as we will see, we can delay opening the door a little bit, or delay closing the door a little bit. And then from here up, I'll use steel automation wire and plug into the doors. Okay, and then I got my manual switch over here. Green is open and red is closed. So actually let's put an AND gate as well, so that I can override it with a manual switch if I so choose. Okay, so this way my switch will have to be turned on for the satellites to be able to open the doors. And if I shut my switch off, it'll close the doors no matter what no matter what's going on meteor-wise. I think I'll need some ladder to get all this built. Well, maybe not. Let's see if we can do it without it. I should be able to build some of this from up here. Okay, and then we can get rid of that switch, but not yet. Let's wait until this is in place. I don't want the doors to open on me. Okay, so right now we're seeing scan quality 0, scan network 0, and that's because the doors are closed. And once we're able to open the doors, then we'll be able to see what our scan quality, or what our scan network quality is, and then we'll be able to apply a setting onto the filter gate, because this will tell us the minimum amount of time that we'll get, the minimum amount of notice. It takes the doors about 40 seconds to close, so we can put a delay on the filter gate so that we wait until about 40 seconds or so. Maybe we'll make it 45 or 50 to be safe before we close the doors, so that way we maximize the amount of daylight that we get. Okay, that's unreachable, so I am going to need some ladder. Okay, and then we can start to put solar panels below. And again, we need 14 tiles from this tile. The bottom left tile on the scanner is the one that is used to detect whether we're going to get interference or not. So we need to go 14 tiles away from there. Okay, and that is the height of the first solar panel. And I think that's from the bottom left as well. So I think I can actually put it here and not have any interference. Now, I don't want it to be exactly there. We're going to have, what, 3 levels? Or maybe 4 levels. Yeah, we're going to have 4 levels. And the first one I am going to line up with the edge of this door. Or do I want to go over one? No, I think we'll line it up at the edge of this door. Okay. So, first one goes here. And then we come over so that the power connection is just to is one tile past the edge of the previous level. Like that. Okay, and then that should be close to the edge of the 8th tile. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, this is the edge. Right, so we'll have, or we could even move this over by 1 more. There, and that covers 8 tiles exactly. Okay, so the doors are open. Let's see. Yeah, scan network quality is not good because I have all this regolith up here. So let's dig this out and then we'll be able to see what it should be. There we go. Let me give a higher priority to this. Actually, I'll close the doors until we get that cleared out. Alright, and now I can delete this switch over here. What? Entombed, broken. Well, that's not cool. Alright. So let's start building at the top. And then we'll go down to the bottom. Alright, I'm just going to deconstruct this one. We'll rebuild it. I'm going to have to dig out all this regolith. Okay, and he's gotten himself in a bit of a fix. Don't do that. Alright, so while that's taking place, let's start to put our miners up here. Let's see, are those in shipping? Yeah. So we're going to make robominers out of steel. And they're going to be placed about like this. And we're going to set each one so that it is able to clear out regolith on top of the one in front of it. Like so. Okay, and then we're going to put airflow tiles like that. And then mesh tiles like that. Well, and these could be airflow tiles too, I guess. But you do need airflow tiles on the bottom because those are going to have a little drop of liquid that we're going to use to keep the robominers cooled down. Okay, and those use, let's see, how much power? 120 watts each. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's about 1,000 watts. What was it? Yeah, 8 times 120 is just under 1,000 watts. So we could power that with plain wire. But I think we'll just use conductive wire. So what's our load right now? Potential load is 1440, current load is 0. I wonder why the current load is 0. Let's open the doors and see what our scan quality is so that we can adjust our filter gate. Okay, so scan network quality is 50%. So it'll detect incoming objects 101 seconds to 200 seconds before they arrive. All right, so the best case is it'll detect something 200 seconds away. That'll be if it picks it up immediately. The worst case is 101 seconds. So we'll plan for that. And again, if the doors take about 40, let's say 45 seconds to close, that gives me about 60 seconds of extra time. So just to be safe, I'll set this to 50 seconds. Okay, so we'll need a detection signal from one of these scanners for 50 seconds before the doors will actually close. Okay, what's our load now? Okay, now the load is 960. Now it's 0, 960. Okay, that's just when they go through the access point there. I wonder... That seems strange. It seems like the scanners aren't consuming anything. Maybe they only consume power when they're detecting something. That seems to be the case, doesn't it? That's interesting. And that means that I could probably put these drills on the same circuit. Because when the doors are closed, they're not going to be detecting any, or well, they might be active when the doors are closed, but then when the doors open, that's when the miners are going to kick in, because that's when the regolith falls, but there won't be anything coming then, so the scanner shouldn't be pulling any power when the doors are closed. So I am going to power these up that way. What is the overheat temperature? Or the melting point of lead wire? 327. That's a little too low. So I don't want to use lead for that. We could use gold. That's plus 50. Or copper. Let's see. What's the melting point of copper? 1,000 degrees. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever have 1,000 degree regolith. Alright, so I'll build this part out of lead. And then from there on up, I'll use copper. And I think I might need to refine some more. Okay, and I'd like to see what happens when we detect something so that I can make sure that my timing is right on that filter. Steel. Let's take it. Alright, let me queue up some copper. Alright, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to hit Control 2. And that'll save that camera location. So if I press H, that takes you back to the printing pod. And then if I hit Shift 2, it'll take me to that saved camera view. Alright, so let's queue up some refined copper. We'll do, I don't know, I'll just do a ton. And then up top, I will hit Control 1. Alright, so now we can go manufacturing, space, home base. I don't like the home base though because that camera motion kind of makes me a little bit nauseous. So I'll just set this to Control 3. And then let's get our petroleum boiler. Control 4. Alright, so now it'll be easy to move around. Okay, now these guys can run for a while before they start to overheat. But you know, since they're in the vacuum of space, there's no atmosphere or anything for them to vent off to. Oh, you know what? The other thing I need to do is put in a temp shift plate behind each one so that the liquid blob doesn't disappear. What do we want to make that out of? I've got plenty of diamond. I might as well use diamond, since that's the high-end stuff. There. And then the other thing that we can do is start getting some oxygen brought up to our telescope, and we can start scanning the skies. I think probably the easiest way to, well, heck, for now, I can just put an oxygen pump up here. Is my base completely sealed in? Yeah. Well, not quite. Let's replace those tiles. And this way I won't have to worry about pressure outside of the base so much, since all the inside of my base is going to be essentially sealed in. I'll probably have to do something about CO2 down here at some point. But for now, this will be fine. Alright, and then what I can do down here, let's dig that out, is I can just I'll just put a gas pump down here and pump oxygen up to the telescope. That seems like a fine place to put it. We'll get rid of that. There. Actually, let's be slightly more intelligent about this. I'll put an element sensor and a vent. No. And a NOT gate. Okay. So that way if anything but oxygen gets sucked in, it'll send it out the vent. Just to avoid any damage to the telescope. And then we can start scanning stuff. Actually, we can start to do that now. So, I mean, it won't work yet, but we'll identify our first object to scan. And then as soon as we get oxygen up there, the scientists can start working on that. Okay, how we doing up here? Almost built. Still no meteor showers. And I'm finding some shovel eggs up here. Several of them, in fact. I should probably grab those. Maybe I can build a little room up here to start my shovel farming operation. Let's see if this is going to be where the solar panels go. I messed up. Made that ladder one tile too high. Alright, so I could build something, I don't know, let's say down here. Alright, looks like I might have to wait a bit for the copper. That's okay, I'm not in a hurry. Let's see. Yeah, let's keep this made out of ladder. I'll wait until I get all this stuff dug up. Just so I don't end up with a lot of junk. Oh, that's why this is taking so long. I'm making the pipe out of sandstone, which they have to run all the way down to the main base to get. I think this is the longest I've gone without a meteor shower. Okay, so we set that to oxygen there, and then I'll send it through the pipe. Anything that's not oxygen will open the vent and it'll go out the vent. Okay, so obsidian insulated tile will contain shovels. And so will pneumatic doors. And then we stick a grooming station in there. I'll put a, well, yeah, I'll put a drop-off point, and then I also need something to drop in the eggs. So I'll put in a dispenser. Ah, okay. Here's the meteor shower, and it looks like the door's closed in time, so far so good. Okay, that all works. Alright, so at this point I'm going to leave the doors closed, just because I don't want these robominers to get too hot, and we'll have to put in our cooling loop. Alright, telescope's running. Awesome. Oh. Yeah, that's why we want the doors open. Okay, well let's leave the doors open a little bit so we get those first couple objects scanned, I guess. Now once this is done, I need to put in a cooling loop. Alright, so this time let's be a little bit smarter. I'll make the pipe out of mafic rock, if I can. Oh, I guess I can't. That's too bad. Okay, so yeah, we'll use granite. And that is basically going to run all the way across here. And this is going to be a cooling loop filled with petroleum. Once we fill the pipe, we'll stop the pump, and then we'll break each section of pipe just on top of the mining drills, and that'll drop a little bit of petroleum on there. Just one little drop. That will obstruct the scanners to a slight degree, but we should still have 99, 100% scan quality, even with that little drop of petroleum there. And then we'll replace that section of pipe with a little bit of radiant pipe, and then that little drop of petroleum with the cooling loop will keep the robominers at a good temperature. Okay. More incoming. Let's see, these are 7 tiles wide. Okay, so this one we want to get shovel eggs. And I'm going to give that a high priority so that we get those picked up quickly. Alright, and no interference on the scanner from the solar panel, so we did make them sufficiently far away. Oh, right. Okay, I guess we'll have to make this sweep only. Alright, let's see if we can find any more of them. There was one up there, I don't see it anymore. Okay, and then we can set a drop-off point for shovels and vol pups. And we can start to wrangle some. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 5 of them right there. There's a bunch over here too. So we might, how many do I have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I got 7 so far. I think we needed 20 for starvation ranching. So I might be able to round up 20 just by capturing what's out there. And then I wouldn't have to do the, you know, the sustainable farming where we feed them. That'll make things a little bit easier. Of course, we could always drop some regolith in there at the beginning. In fact, we can use the dispenser just to drop regolith in there. That counts as filtration medium. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. So we can do a combination at the beginning, feed some of them, and so we get a few extra eggs. Now I think the only way I'm going to be able to capture these guys is if I go out and dig through the regolith. Okay. And the doors are closing again. Almost. Somebody come and get him. Okay, so this is done. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the doors closed for now until we get this finished. All right, so in the next episode, we'll set up the cooling loop so that we can get this taken care of. I'll continue to work on trying to capture voles. Yeah, nobody came to pick that guy up. Maybe it's because he was inside the regolith. Well, I'll see what we can do here. But yeah, to be continued. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.